Dear students, this is our 11th lecture on organic reaction mechanism, and today we will be discussing carbenes uh, under reaction intermediates. And in reaction intermediates, we have already done carbocation rearrangements, carbanions, and reactions of carbanions. So in the present lecture, we will be discussing mainly about the formation of carbenes, their stability, and their structure. In the next lecture, we will be discussing the reactions of carbenes. So carbenes, as you know, they are uncharged electron deficient molecular species which contains divalent carbon atom surrounded by sextet of electrons. So because their octet is not complete, so that is why they are very unstable and very unreactive in nature. So general formula can be as you have seen this one, or R double bond C having a lone pair of electrons. And the carbene term carbene also refers to the specific compound where both X and Y they are H, and this is also known as methylene carbene. So, and all other carbenes they are derived from this carbene only, that is methylene carbene. These carbenes they can be of two types depending upon the type of electron spin they possess. These may be classified as singlet carbenes or triplet carbenes. Singlet carbenes are those carbenes where there is a pair of electrons present in the same orbital, that is they are spin paired. And in terms of valence bond theory, the hybridization of these types of carbenes is sp2 hybridized. Whereas triplet carbenes they can be differentiated from singlet carbene being having two unpaired electrons in each of the orbital. So the triplet carbenes they may be linear or they may be bent, but mostly they are bent. So likewise, if they are linear, the hybridization is sp, and if they are bent, the linear hybridization is sp2. And most carbenes, as I have told you, they are non-linear in the triplet ground state. So they will have the bent structure, except in those intermediates where we are having a heteroatom present, that is nitrogen, oxygen, or sulfur atom, and halides, they are directly bound to the divalent carbon. If any of these X or Y is either nitrogen, oxygen, or sulfur, or halide, then sometimes we may have this linear type of triplet carbenes. Now we can differentiate between singlet and triplet carbenes very well. First thing is that singlet will always have sp2 hybridization, whereas in case of triplet the hybridization can be sp or sp2. Then in case of singlet, the non-bonded electrons which are present, they have opposite spin and they occupy the same sp2 orbital. So they are present in the one orbital only. Whereas non-bonded electrons, they have parallel spin in case of triplet carbene, and they occupy p or sp2 orbitals. Then this XCY angle, this one, this can very much differentiate the singlet and triplet carbenes. In case of singlet carbene, the angle is from 100 to 110 degree. Whereas in case of triplet carbenes, the XCY angle is 125 to 150 degree. So on the basis of this angle, we can very much differentiate between singlet and triplet carbene. And singlet carbenes, they are very stable even in case of aqueous media, whereas these are not stable in aqueous media, but they are stable in the gaseous phase. So singlet carbenes, as I have told you, that non-bonded electron opposite spin, they are present in the sp2 orbital, whereas in case of triplet carbene, they have non-bonded electrons, they have parallel spin, they have not anti-parallel but parallel spin, and either they occupy sp2 orbital or they occupy p orbital. So this is how we can differentiate between singlet carbene and a triplet carbene. And triplet carbene can sometimes have linear geometry also, depending upon if X or Y is some heteroatom or some halogen atom. So this is present in very rare cases. Otherwise, in most of the cases, commonly the geometry in case of triplet is also a bent geometry. Then is the triplet state of carbene is more stable as compared to the singlet state. And for example, if this X and Y both are hydrogens, then in case of methylene, the amount of energy required to convert a triplet carbene into a singlet carbene is only 8 kilocalorie per mole. So if you are having a triplet carbene, we supply this amount of energy, this can be converted into singlet carbene, which is of higher energy. So this is the case of singlet carbene, where both the antiparallel electrons, they are present in sp2 hybridized orbital, whereas this is a triplet carbene where they have the parallel spin, and one is present in the p orbital, other is present in the sp2 hybrid orbital. Then these singlet or triplet carbenes, they can be formed either by ionic mechanism or by photochemical move. So this reaction we have done many times in your previous classes also, Reaumur type Tiemann reaction, where chloroform on reaction with the base is first converted into this type of carbanion, trichloromethane carbanion, and then this carbanion is converted into this type of dichlorocarbene as the product with elimination of one chloride ion. And when this is formed through ionic mechanism, the reaction takes place thermally, and a singlet carbene is formed by this process. Whereas if we do the photochemical reaction of diazo compounds, on photochemical irradiation, nitrogen gas is eliminated to give us first a singlet carbene, which on further irradiation can be converted into a triplet carbene. So photochemically we can produce first singlet, and then further photochemical irradiation can change that singlet carbene into a triplet carbene. Then we can also differentiate between singlet and triplet state from whether the chemical reaction which these carbenes they undergo is a stereospecific reaction or a stereoselective reaction. The singlet carbenes, they will always react with alkenes in a concerted manner to give us stereospecific products. Whereas when triplet carbons they are reacted with alkanes, they will react stepwise like biradicals, and we will get a mixture of isomers, and the product formed therefore will be a stereoselective product. So here both the products will be formed, one in more amount, other in lesser amount, but the reaction therefore will be a stereoselective. Whereas with singlet carbons we will get only one product, a specific product is formed, that is why this will be called as a stereospecific product. So the reaction here in case of singlet carbons is a concerted mechanism, and product formed is a stereospecific product. So for example, so we know this is a singlet carbene. So this will interact with the pi bond of the carbon-carbon double bond alkene, and this type of intermediate stage will be formed, wherein this carbon will bound to these two carbons simultaneously, and then we will get the stereospecific product. So when this bonds to both the product in a cyclic transition state, that means the reaction is taking place in a concerted manner in a single step. So that is why we are getting only one product or a stereospecific product. Then if we take the example of triplet carbenes, so here triplet carbenes, because both the electrons they are present in the different orbitals, so first the reaction will take place with sp2 hybridized carbon atom, because this is lower in energy. So this electron will interact with the one electron from this pi bonded double bond, and we will get this type of intermediate, and here the spin of both the electron present on this one and this one is parallel spin, and therefore because they are parallel spins they cannot make a bond, carbon carbon bond. So therefore slowly this undergoes spin inversion. The spin of this electron becomes inverted, and because now they have inverted spins, so this carbon carbon bond is formed, and we will get this isomer as the product. Similarly, before because this is a slow process, spin inversion, before the spin inversion takes place, there is a possibility that rotation of the carbon 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 bond can also take place. So if rotation of this carbon carbon bond take place, then H is beta, R is alpha. So when rotation will take place, R will become beta, H will become alpha. So through rotation, this will be the change in the bonding structure of the intermediate through rotation of the carbon-carbon bond. And after that, then slowly again the spin inversion of this can take place, and after spin inversion now we will have this type of isomer as the product. So as the step involved in these two processes they are different, here only spin inversion is required, whereas here rotation around the carbon carbon double bond followed by spin inversion are required. So that is why the amount of the isomer formed in the reaction will vary, and because of that we will get a mixture, isomeric mixture of these two isomers. So that is why this reaction is a stereoselective reaction, and as the reaction is not taking place in a single step, it is taking place in a stepwise manner. So that is why we are getting stereoselective products, and all the steps we can see that the intermediates they are reacting like biradicals. So this is acting as a biradical, this after spin inversion is acting as a biradical for cyclization. So on the basis of product formed in different type of reactions, depending upon whether the products formed are stereospecific or stereoselective, we can differentiate between singlet and triplet carbene. So if the singlet carbene is involved in the reaction, then only stereospecific products will be formed. And if triplet carbenes they are involved in the reaction, then the product formed will be stereo selective product. Then is generation of carbenes. Now, carbenes they can be generated in number of ways. Uh, there are different type of reactions which can take place to generate carbenes. First is they can be generated from aliphatic diazo compounds. So if diazo compounds they are either reacted thermally or heated thermally or photochemically, they can be converted into carbene by losing a molecule of nitrogen gas. So this goes to this place, a molecule of nitrogen gas will be eliminated and we will get these types of carbenes as the product. Similarly, carbenes can also be generated from ketenes. So these types of molecules they are called as ketenes, and if we heat these ketenes or we react photochemically or means we pass UV light through these ketenes, then they will lose a molecule of carbon monoxide and we will get carbenes as the product with the elimination of one molecule of carbon monoxide. Similarly, if epoxides they are photochemically irradiated, like these types of compounds, if they are reacted photochemically, then uh, they will dissociate into carbonyl compounds and carbenes as the product. So these types of carbenes and carbonyl compounds they will be formed as the product. Then fourth category is diazirenes. They when they are reacted either thermally or photochemically, then they also lose a molecule of nitrogen gas and we will get ketenes as the product. So with the elimination of one nitrogen molecule, we will get carbenes as the product. Then carbenes they can also be generated from tetrazoles. When tetrazoles they are heated thermally, they will undergo elimination of one molecule of nitrogen to give us these types of dianions, uh, carbanions and positively charged ion as well as negatively charged ion. Then these will undergo rearrangement with further elimination of one more molecule of nitrogen and carbenes they will be generated from tetrazoles. Then next is that carbenes they can be formed from alkyl halides also. So when alkyl halides, as we have seen it previously also, that in case of Riemann-Tiemann reaction, when chloroform is reacted with the base thermally, then first we will get these types of trichloromethane carbanions, and with the elimination of chloride ion, we will get dichlorocarbenes as the product. So this is how alkyl halides, when they are thermally treated with some base, they can be converted into carbenes. Similarly, carbenes they can be generated from sulfur ylides also. When sulfur ylides of these types they are reacted thermally or photochemically, they dissociate at these positions to give us carbenes and sulfides as the product. So dimethyl sulfide will be formed, and in addition we will get carbenes as the intermediate in these reactions. Then there are few more carbenes which are not actual carbenes, but they are called as metal stabilized carbenes, or these are known as carbenoids. In recent years, many organic synthesis reactions they have been done with these types of intermediates, which are, although they are having negatively charged ions, but they are not true carbenes, but they are called as carbenoids. So carbenes attached to metal ion, they are called as carbenoids. So for example, if we react these types of metal carbonyls with alkyl lithiums, and this metal can be chromium, molybdenum, or tungsten. So if we react this metal hexacarbonyl with alkyl lithium, then these types of intermediate metal lithium intermediates they will be formed, and then these will react with alkyl halides, and here alkylation of, so this will be done, lithium and X lithium halide will be eliminated, and these types of metal carbene complexes they are known as metal carbonides, and here this portion will act as a carbene, and this will act as a positive part during any type of further reaction, and such type of carbonides they are known as Schrock's carbenes. Then similarly, another type of carbonides, they are formed from rhodium compounds. If we react rhodium acetate with diazo compounds, then a molecule of nitrogen gas will be eliminated, and we will get these types of rhodium carbonides. And this rhodium carbonide here, this portion will act as a carbene, and this portion will act as a positive part, and these can be used for many types of organic synthesis reactions or organic functional group transformation. So this is the structure of rhodium acetate. Then there are differentiation in structure of different type of carbonides, and out of different type of carbonides, these two types they are very important: Fischer carbenes and Schrock carbenes. And Schrock carbenes we have already discussed. Fischer carbenes, they have low oxidation state metals like iron, molybdenum, chromium, and tungsten. Then they have pi acceptor metal ligand and pi donor substituents on methylene group. So if these methylene groups they are replaced by alkoxy ones or NN disubstituted amino group, then they will become pi donor substituents. So if these hydrogens they are replaced by these groups, then pi acceptor metal ligands they interact to synthesize these types of carbenes, which are called as Fischer carbenes. And here these carbenes they are formed by overlapping of d orbitals of the metal ion with the singlet carbene. So Fischer carbenes they are formed, their uh, the carbene portion is a singlet carbene portion, whereas Schrock carbenes, their carbene portion is a triplet carbene. So this is how, so there is one mistake. This electron should be here, not here. So only then the overlap between these lobes that will take place. So this triplet carbene will interact with the d orbitals of the metal, and we will get carbonide systems which are called as Schrock carbons. And these Schrock carbons, they involve high oxidation state metals like titanium, tantalum, and whereas non-pi acceptor ligands and non-pi donor substituents, they may be present as substituent at these positions. So these are latest type of carbanions, carbenes, which are being used very effectively for many types of organic functional transformations. So these are the books which has been used for preparing this reaction, in addition to some internet sources which have been used for this lecture. Thank you very much.